Hey guys, my name is Keziah and welcome to Cooking with Keziah. Today we're going to be making pavlova. Pavlova is a crispy meringue with a marshmallowy inside. It's topped with whipped cream and fresh fruit. So to make my pavlova, you need 4 eggs, 1 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, 2 teaspoons cornstarch, 2 cups whipping cream, and fresh fruit. You can have any type of fresh fruit. Some of the common types of fresh fruit that you'll often find on pavlova are blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and kiwi. But today we're just using strawberries. So I've got out the ingredients for our meringue. So here we have our sugar, which is 1 1/4 cup. We have our lemon juice, we need 1 teaspoon of that. Our vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of that. And we need 2 teaspoons of this cornstarch and these 4 eggs. Let's get cracking. Okay, so the first step to making pavlova is you need to separate the egg whites from the egg yolks. So first, but we're going to do that is we're going to crack the egg, and then you're going to split it in 2 like this, and you're going to go back and forth, and the egg yolk is in the eggshell, and you're going to go back and forth putting the egg yolk in eggshells, and your egg white should keep going into your egg white glass. And as soon as you've got most of the egg white out, then you can move the egg yolk into your other glass. This step is really important. You got to make sure you don't get any egg yolk in your egg white, because that could prevent the meringue from popping up as it should. So now we got to do the same thing with the remaining eggs. Oh boy, we have a tiny little. There we go, and I think just there we go, and again. Oh boy, there we go. And last one. So there you go. That's all 4 of our egg whites cracked, or eggs separated. Okay, so now we get to whip up the eggs and make the meringue. So but just so you know, we're now preheating the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So that should be ready soon. So we're going to pour the egg whites into our mixer, and we're going to put it on high. Okay, so we whipped the eggs until they're stiff but not dry, and so now we have to add the sugar 1 tablespoon at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting in 1 tablespoon of sugar, and then we're going to mix. Okay, so we finished beating in the sugar into the eggs. So you're gonna keep mixing it until it's thick and glossy. So I've done that and it looks like this. So now we're going to take the mixture off the beater and then fold in the lemon juice, vanilla extract, and cornstarch. So we're going to take 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And this is what helps make the meringue marshmallowy on the inside and crispy on the outside. The lemon juice, the vanilla extract, and the cornstarch. So 1 teaspoon of that. this. And there we go. So now we're going to fold it in using a spatula. Now you've finished your meringue and it's ready to bake. Okay, so for this next step, you'll need a cookie sheet, parchment paper, a 9-inch cake pan, and a pencil. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of parchment paper on the cookie sheet, and then put the cake pan on that. And then we're going to trace a circle around the cake pan so we have a 9-inch circle. There we go. So you can see here we have our 9-inch circle. So we're going to take our meringue and we're going to put it inside that 9-inch circle. So then what we're going to do is we're going to spread this around. Right to the edges of her. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a little hollow in the middle, sort of, for our whipped cream. That's where our whipped cream will go. Alright, and then we're good to put it in the oven, but I'm going to get a fork and I'm going to scrape this off first. Okay, so this is ready to go in the oven. We're going to put it in the oven for 1 hour at 300 degrees Fahrenheit because Pavlova needs a long and slow bake. Okay, so now we're going to make the whipping cream. To make the whipping cream, you'll need a 1/4 cup measuring cup, 1 cup measuring cup, a spatula, the whipping cream, and icing sugar, and a tea towel. So we're going to start by measuring out 2 cups of whipping cream into our mixing bowl. So once we have that done, we're going to put it down and we're going to cover it with a cloth because the whipping cream will splatter up a bit while it first whips, and we're going to turn it on high. Okay, so we've whipped our whipped cream until it's not quite as thick as whipped cream, but just about. So now we're going to take our icing sugar and we're going to add about a 1/4 cup. If you don't want your whipped cream to be as sweet, then you don't need to add your icing sugar, and then we're going to mix it more. We don't really need the cloth anymore. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cover this in saran wrap and put it in the fridge until our meringue's ready to go. Okay, so it's time to cut up the strawberries. To cut up the strawberries, you'll need a cutting board, a knife, a couple of bowls, and your strawberries, of course. So cutting up your fruit is really important because you want the final product to look nice, and so you'll want it even, and you'll want it just to be overall, the thickness to be the same, and you can cut up your fruit any way you choose, but just whatever way you do it, try and make it look nice, like you spent time doing it, so that your final product looks finished properly and, just well done. So we're just finishing cutting up the strawberries here, and just to be clear, the strawberry that we're cutting off and isn't good enough to use, well, it's good stuff to keep you fueled while you finish your pavlova. Make sure not to waste it. There we go. So now all we gotta do is wait for our pavlova to finish cooking. That's the end of our pavlova cooking. Looks good. So now we gotta wait for it to cool before we can put the whipped cream and fresh fruit on. Okay guys, time for our final step of making the pavlova. So here we have the cooked pavlova, and it has some cracks in it, which means it should be a good pavlova. We also have our whipped cream and our strawberries. So I'm going to take the saran wrap off, and we've just taken the whipped cream and the strawberries out of the fridge. So we're going to start by taking your whipped cream, and you should take all your whipped cream and put it on your pavlova. You want to make sure you fill the little well that you made in the center, or whatever you want to call it, and then spread it around well. So I'm just going to do that. So you should leave a little bit of room on the edge, but spread the cream pretty evenly, pretty close to the edge. So now we gotta put the strawberries on our pavlova. So you can put your fresh fruit on the pavlova in any way you want. So I like doing kind of like a flower sort of pattern. So there we go. There's our final pavlova. So there we go. There's your final pavlova. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day.